What's up guys, MarshallArtistry here, coming back with part 2 of our tattoo tumbler tutorial. In this stage, I just began to add white highlights on top of all the highlighted sections. That way I can go back and tint them with some different colors later. I'll be using Createx Paints as always. I'm using my GSI Creos 771, trying to get all my fine detail here. I'm still working in quite a bit of highlights on all of the components of the tattoo. That way it looks a little more three-dimensional. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to us for more content. If you have someone that might like this kind of content, please make sure to share it with them. We'd appreciate it. I'm just working in some highlights in the eyeball and also the ocular highlights on the eye. I decided to build out the skin around the eyeball just because I wanted to make it look a little more three-dimensional. Here I'm starting to work on some of the smoke that's coming up from the tattoo. I'm using some freehand shields that I'd made in Cricut Design Space and cut them on some 0.4 millimeter Mylar. Just making sure to take our time here, having a little bit of fun building things out in layers. I'm using some very thin paint, so I'm able to get more control and more details with this thinned down version. I've used 10 drops of reducer to 1 drop of paint. It is very thin, but I've dropped my air pressure down to somewhere between 15 and 20 psi while regulating it with the Mac valve on the front of my Creos. Just building up some smoke here. Thought it would look kind of cool if we had some smoke coming out of the skull, the cracks in the skull. I had a lot of fun doing this section of detail. Here you can see I'm using my freehand shields again, just trying to get a nice edge on this smoke as it's coming up out of those cracks. We're going to be going back and highlighting this later. As the pop-up says, please make sure to take your time here. Have fun with it. Make it your own. Add different colors, different textures. Really try and experiment with things at this stage. As always, if you've made it to this point of the video, thank you so much for sticking around. I hope you get some value out of this. If you do, please make sure to smash that like button. Go ahead and subscribe. We're going to be doing this every Friday. Just layering in with the same white mixture and making some of the bright spots, the hot spots, a little brighter, trying to blend them upwards. What you can't see there is that the airbrush was spitting the paint on the surface, so I make sure to tap the surface sometimes with the back of my finger so I'm not getting as much oil on the surface. We'll be wiping this down with some wax and degreaser before we go to the clear coat booth. If you haven't had a chance, please make sure to visit us at MarshallArtistry.com, where we will be uploading this cup as well as others to our inventory. Just going back now with transparent aqua. I've used transparent base as well as some 4011 reducer to get this mixture together. I'm just going over all of those highlights that we just did, tinting them to match the background color of the bottle. Here in a moment, you're going to see we're going to make that mix a little darker so that it can stand out a little more. But you can vary how much you add, or if you want to add a different color. It's all really up to you. I just wanted to make it a little bit darker. I'm going to come in later with a bright blue, a transparent bright blue, to make our design stand out a little more. Here you can see I've added the bright blue to our rose. We'll be adding some bright blue as well to our eyeball and the other tattoo on the back side, just to make it stand out a little more. I like making my designs kind of unique. We're also going to touch up that color, and here is our final design after we've clear coated. We went back with an HD stencil, added in an HD stencil to some of the dead spots, as well as went over it with car rep spray on the clear coat. Be sure to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching. Tune in next week, guys.